Hello there and welcome back to my channel. Today I grabbed, for the first time in quite a while, the Passion in Paris palette from BH Cosmetics. This palette's amazing. It's great quality. It's got beautifully pigmented and buildable shadows. They blend out like a dream. It's a great palette. I just haven't used it in a while. So if you want to see how I created this eyeshadow look using the Passion in Paris palette from BH Cosmetics, then don't go anywhere. And if you're new to this channel, hello and welcome. My name is Rachel. I'm a homeschooling stay-at-home mom who loves to play with colorful eyeshadow. I usually squeeze my looks in first thing in the morning before anybody's awake. It is currently like 5:45 a.m. And I'm just finishing this up while my family starts to stir. I don't know much about other kinds of makeup. For me, it is all about the eyes. So if you're interested in colorful eyeshadow content, palettes, declutters, collections, videos, a lot of tutorials, anything like that, then you're in the right spot. I hope you'll consider liking and subscribing. I try to upload about 3 videos a week, and you can also find me on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. Now, without any more delay, let's play with some eyeshadow. I'm going to start today's look by priming my eyes using the Glamlight Icing Primer in the shade White Frosting. This morning is the first time in a while that I've been up early because my baby has been keeping me up generally a decent amount at nighttime, so you know, my goal is to be up at 4:30 or 5 in the morning, and her schedule is changing. It used to be that she would wake me up to nurse at that time and I would just stay up after putting her back down, but her schedule is changing, and so now I have to set an alarm if I want to get up that early. But if she keeps me up all night, it doesn't happen. So that my last several videos have been filmed during the morning, like when she's napping. And this is the first time I've been up early in a while, actually. I wanted to play in the Passion in Paris palette today. I haven't actually used this one in quite a while. Truth be told, I haven't used anything from BH Cosmetics. I think, honestly, I think it was since the Garnet palette in January, and now we're in February. It's been a while since I used BH. I have so many other palettes that I also love, and so it's like, okay, play with Glamlight, play with Uden's Eye, play with this, play with that. I'm going to take a pretty fluffy and relatively large blending brush. I'm going to dip into the shade Notre Dame, and I'm going to use this as a kind of a wash on my entire lid space. So start in the crease, work my way towards the bridge of the nose and up towards the brow bone. This will be a transitional color and also a neutral to just set my eye primer. I don't always set my primer. Sometimes I dive right in with the color. But because part of the look is going to use a more like neutral brown base, I figured I would use it over the entire area and have it be a transition blending out sort of color. I think that were it not 5:30 in the morning and the only light I had was this ring light and like ambient kitchen light, I think that this color might be showing up as a little bit more rosy. Just a little bit, because it's kind of giving me that feel. It's not a true brown. I think it's got some pink rosy sort of tones in it, but I just can't see them right now. Now I'm taking a medium dense blending brush. I'm gonna dip into the shade Montmartre, which is the dark matte blue top right corner of the palette. This is gonna go in my outer corner. I'm gonna blend it into my crease a little bit, but don't go crazy. It's a pretty heavy color. It's a very pretty color. I don't think I've ever used this for like the main part of a look before. I think I've used it to help deepen out other shadows in this palette, but it's a really pretty navy blue. But because it's so dark and heavy, I don't want to carry it all the way through my crease. I just want to keep it in this outer area. I do plan on deepening this outer corner a little bit with the black, and so I'm going to make sure that I carry the blue far enough in that the blue is still visible around the black. I don't want to have the black cover the blue. The blue itself is kind of covering about half of my lid, or slightly less. Oh, now here's a good example. Remember I said in a previous video, I don't know if you've seen it, but I try to work on angles, like always up and out. Well, this eye has that angle, like that. This eye is more straight up and down because I forgot to do the angle. And you see the difference. So on this eye, I want to pull it in a little bit more, which unfortunately is going to take off more lid real estate, but I do want that angle to be present. So I'm just dragging the bottom part of that color in a little more, that's better, to create the angle. And now I'm going in with a more fluffy blending brush, and I'm just buffing out these edges. Doesn't take much. The shadows in this palette are really, really good. This is a great palette. I want to take a smudger brush and wrap this same blue shade down to my lower lash line and just the outer corner. So I'm dipping into the shade and then I'm just placing it in this lower outer corner. I'm not going to bring this one far in because this is a deep blue with purpley undertones, and it is a lovely color, but it's also kind of a dangerous color for my skin tone. So the further in towards my nose I bring it, the more tired I'm gonna look. And I don't want to look tired, so I'm just keeping it in the outer area. Okay, now with a smaller blending brush, I'm gonna dip into the black matte in the palette. It's called Musée d'Orsay. And I'm dipping in pretty lightly because I don't want to go crazy. I just want to drop my palette. I'm putting Musée d'Orsay right out here in the outer corner, just to deepen the blue a little bit, but making sure that I don't cover all the blue. And then with that original, more dense blending brush with the first blue color on it, the only blue color, I'm just working those shades together a bit. I have not put on any new or additional product. It's just blending them together. All right, now I want to dip into a shimmer. I'm going to take a flat shader or C brush, and I'm going to go into the shade Eiffel Tower, which honestly, it looks in the pan, it looks like I have used it before, but I don't remember doing so. And it's certainly not more heavily used like a couple of the other shimmers in here, so it's been a while. I'm going to dip into the shadow and then spray my brush because I want to control the fallout. And I'm going to place this on my inner corner and work it, oh look at that, isn't that so pretty? Oh, it's pretty. Work it towards the mattes that I've laid down. Now I'm gonna be careful here. If I cross over onto the mattes and then I go back and forth, you know, adding in the shimmer and whatnot, I'm gonna start pulling the blue shade onto the shimmer because the colors will transfer. And I don't want blue or even blue tinged Eiffel Tower color over here. So I'm really not going to touch the mattes, I'm just leading up to them. And then when that shade is placed nicely on both lids, then I'll go back and forth a bit and merge the shimmer with the matte. I just don't want cross-contamination between the colors. I don't want to have blue tinged shimmer at the inner corner. So I'm being very careful about how far I go with this shade. It has been a while since I used this palette, but it's performing so beautifully. I think to transition to the blue matte, I'm gonna grab the shade Panthéon. Just lightly. I don't want to go in super heavy with this. I'm not gonna spray it because I don't want it to be really metallic. I want this whitish Eiffel Tower shimmer to be the more focal point in contrast with the blue. And the Panthéon shade is a very pretty blue shimmer, and it definitely has some purple in it. Like, it's a pretty shadow, but I don't want that to be the focus of the eye look. So if I spray it, that'll make it more metallic. In fact, that's one of the reasons that I usually spray my shimmers. That plus fallout control. But anyway, I've got Panthéon on my brush, and I'm just placing it where the blue matte and the Eiffel Tower shimmer meet. And I'm just helping that transition a little bit. Can you see the difference now from a light shimmer to the dark blue shimmer and then the blue matte? Whereas on this eye, I have not placed that blue shimmer yet, so it's just white shimmer, blue matte, and there's a clear dividing line between the two. And that line is a little bit more stark than I like, which is why I've added the other shimmer, because shimmer likes to blend into other shimmer. So if you can bridge that gap, like that transition, using a shimmer of the same color family as the mattes that you've laid down, it's gonna be a smoother transition for you between the two different formulas. I feel like this look is something that I could get from Beauty Bay's Age of Opulence palette, like the deep blue and then champagne shimmers. It's quite pretty. For the lower lash line, I'm going to take that smudger brush and dip into this bright blue matte called Seine. And I'm gonna lay this on like the center of my lower lash line. I don't want to carry it all the way into the inner corner. This is a much brighter blue than the dark blue we placed in the outer lower lash line. So this one will liven up my eyes a little bit more, but it's still now being mixed with the dark blue, and it's dangerous ground for me. So I'm laying that down in the center of my lower lash line, but I'm not bringing it in to the inner corner because I have a plan for that area. To be honest, that's a lot darker on my skin than I thought it was gonna be, but it's all right. I'm gonna take a small blending brush. I wanna dip back into the shade Eiffel Tower. This is the shimmer that we used. This one I am going to spray, and I'm gonna use this as an inner corner highlight and just connect it with the same shade on the lid. So I'm putting that as an inner corner, connecting it with the lid, and then bringing it down the lower lash line to meet the blues. I do love a good inner corner highlight shadow. So pretty. For my waterline, I'm gonna take a creme gel liner from ColourPop. Honestly, that's pretty much all I have. Creme gel liners from ColourPop. This is the shade Extra Frosting. It is, the packaging is yellow. The color itself is more of a buttery yellow. It's a very light toned, not like a bright yellow pigment. And it's a little bit sparkly-ish. And it's also broken. The tip just fell off. I'm gonna use this for my entire lower waterline. When I get to this outer part, the tip of the liner is picking up the blue shadow as it would, because there's a little bit of fallout even on the waterline. So I started in the inner corner, and then with one swipe, I'm working from inner to outer, like this. And yes, it picks up color, but now that color's not being drugged back and forth on the waterline, it's all concentrated out here. All right, that's everything for the eyeshadow look. I'm going to go off camera, add some liner and mascara, finish it up, and then come back to show you the end result. And here is the finished look. I did do some black eyeliner, did a wing, put on some mascara, and I did put concealer on under my eyes with a little bit of setting powder, just because I had a bit of blue fallout and I didn't want that. So aside from that, I just have some ColourPop lip oil, and that's everything. I think this look is so pretty. I'm loving the drama and, you know, the kind of the fierceness of it. I think it's a beautiful look. I'm so glad that I grabbed this palette again. It has been a while since I used this one. I knew it was a great palette. I just hadn't actually played with those shadows in quite a while. So thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed the video and the eyeshadow look. You must let me know in the comments below if you have this palette and what you think of it, like maybe what your favorite shades are inside of it. Remember that if you like this content, you can like and subscribe, you can hit the notification bell, and you can find me on Instagram at Shimmers and Silver. And until we see each other again, have a wonderful day. Bye! Such a good palette.